one of the key things I got out of this too is when he said that he wants to keep you as drifters all through this life. Because if you become awakened or enlightened by critically thinking, he cannot take you in the afterlife. Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to go over the Interview with the Devil, or Outwitting the Devil, by Napoleon Hill. I hope you had a chance to listen to this before watching this or listening to this video. But before we go into that, let's just go over real quick on XRP. We're still seeing a lot of up and down in the market, and I'm going to repeat what Matty G said on his channel. He said they're making it boring, and he's right. They're making it really boring that you're going to buy another coin because you're so sick of this not going up while Solana is going $100. And I had that thing at 13 bucks. But there's a lot of interesting things going on with the SEC. Maybe this is going to be finished soon. So just hang on in there and keep your XRP on Ledger, on the Ledger wallets. Don't trust them. They're going to come take it somehow. Alright, I just wanted to say that real quick. Now back to the Outwitting the Devil, or Interview with the Devil. So as I'm listening to this audiobook or book, it started off quite well on the beginning until it hits that one part which everybody sees. And I refer this to some of my woke friends, and they stop at this part. As soon as he mentions the Rockefeller in the beginning of the book, how he sees them as an enemy of his, the enemy and the devil. That's the first hint of this book. Now, 99 to 98% of the people coming across this book never heard of Rockefeller, so this will come across as a self-help book, and it sounds really good. This as a self-help book actually is pretty good. If it motivates you, use it. But as I'm listening to this, I'm starting to build a narrative in my mind. But we let them keep speaking on this book. Even though we hear that first part about the Rockefeller, we just let them keep talking, because while they're talking, they are revealing a lot about themselves and their plans. And you notice that in the beginning part where he talks about the weaknesses, or or what the devil uses to control people, which is religion and schools. And this part is true. This is exactly what they're doing. But the funny part was, at the end, when he suggested a solution to this problem, it actually benefits their agenda, their plans, whatever they reveal as a solution. Now, you may find it really interesting that the 2% he's talking about throughout the whole audiobook is the critical thinkers. And this is the woke population. Critical thinkers, okay? These are the enemies of the elites. The critical thinkers who think a lot. Now these are the enemies of these elites. Is the 2% that think that they can critically analyze things, because they're not, like you said, they are not drifters. Drifters is what he names people who are asleep, who don't see anything. When he refers to the drifters, he's talking about the 98% of people out there. And out of this 98%, 1% are like critical thinkers, people that are awake. And as the video continues, a lot of the biggest hint is towards the end of the audiobook, when he refers to the friends circle and having that mentality as your friends. He's talking about the Bilderberg group. Those guys, they have all the same agenda, they have the same plan, but to the common person, it sounds like you want to be with friends that are like yourself, right? And that's how it can come across as self-help book. But in reality, if you really look read into or critically think about what he's saying, and if you know about what's going on in the world, he's talking about his Bilderberg group friends who own all the corporations, medical field, universities, government, all those. They're all part of this group. So I'm going to go over some of the notes I took, and it'll be kind of jumping around, but I just kind of wrote it as I was listening. So a couple of things that you need to know about this audiobook is that he fails to mention a lot of things. He talks about science a lot, and elites, they always talk about science. He didn't really talk about God too much, and he never discussed the soul. Maybe he said it one time, but he never discussed the afterlife, what happens. Those are just key points, and he talks about yourself a lot, how to do everything on your own. It seems like he's saying without God, like you are God or something like that. These are the big hints that these are written by the elites. But he did talk about manifestation a lot, and manifestation, I think it's a key thing in this life, and this is one of the secrets that he reveals in this book. You can manifest your reality, and it's kind of true, because if you put your effort into anything from when you were a child, and you keep your options open, you will achieve whatever it is that you want. So if you sat at home and played games all day, guaranteed you're going to get really good at playing games. You might even get paid for it. Or if you join the military, you'd be in the military and you'd be successful in that. So there's a lot of truth in what he's saying. One of the key things I got out of this too is when he said that he wants to keep you as drifters all through this life. Because if you become awakened or enlightened by critically thinking, he cannot take you in the afterlife. That was a key takeaway that I got. So if you wake up now, and then if you remember it when you die, that you're awake, then he can't take you because you're awake. And as long as you put an effort in this life to not do the evil things that he wants you to do, then you can live a prosperous life and manifest what you want. Demand it, like you said, right? Now, the people that are successful, these people that he talks about, the ones that are the hard workers, or what does he call it? Law of definitiveness. The people that utilize law of definitiveness, they become successful in life. They become doctors, lawyers, university professors, the go-getters. These guys use the law of definiteness, but he also captures them with high salaries. That's how he gets you. He gets you busy with this law of definitiveness, however you say that, and then he rewards you when you finish school by getting a high-paid salary job, and now you'll do anything to keep that job, to keep that status, right? Like even in today, all the doctors and nurses who are opposed to this vaccine, they can't. Some can because they're in a position that they can leave, but some cannot. They have to work still because they have high debts. Kids are going to college. They have a home to pay, cars to pay, so they have to keep that status. So they have to take it. These are the ones that don't believe in it, but they still have to do it. That's how he entraps you. Debt slave. And he pretty much tells you everything in the book. Everything is controlled. Church, schools, politics, food. They're telling you. But he fails to admit that, well, this book is written by the elites, even though that the devil is a general term, general agenda. But they're the ones controlling the food, and they're the ones controlling your health through the medical field. Yeah, you can try to pay attention and try to critically think, but they control the information. So how you gonna think when everything that you look up is gaslighted, trying to trick you? They're gaslighting you and tricking you into thinking a certain way, and all the information you try to obtain is only to one source. You just have to know it yourself that this is not the truth that they provide, that they show. You have to know that there's a Bilderberg group that controls all the corporations and the food and all the governments and everybody in the whole world. They control everything, but he fails to mention that they do. So it's hard for people to take care of their health. Really, if you want to take care of your health, you gotta just grow your own food or buy organic and make sure it's not GMO or has any pesticides, herbicides, and make sure you eat variety of vegetables. Go look at different countries and look at how healthy their population is and find out what they're eating. Because if you're just eating what's available in the U.S., it's not healthy. It's not enough nutrients. You don't have the diversity or you don't have all the sources of good vegetables there. And you only eat certain kinds of fruits like oranges, apples, and pears. You need to open up your selection and look at what's available. All the different fruits in the world have different nutrients. The DNA of the plant is absorbs those nutrients from the ground, right? And it goes into the plant, and that's why that certain fruit has a high amount of nutrients for a certain mineral. So back to the book here. He did kind of say one thing that was kind of true. I mean, he does promote a lot of sex, even with explaining to children about sex, which is what they want you to do. They want you to make the age younger and younger that kids know about sex. That's one of their ways of bringing up pedophilia in the future, by having the children younger and younger, that they can make their own decisions to engage in sex if they want. That's the future, though. That's what they want to do. Now, he did say use sex to propel your life by becoming successful, right? But only use it. Don't indulge in it. So use the law of definitiveness or whatever to gain the riches you want to attract the opposite sex. So if you want to attract the opposite sex, you will become successful, by never actually indulging all those lustful things. So that's probably a trick that people can use, which is fine, I guess. You'll know, like when you're listening to this, that when he starts saying to bring in one of the solutions for school, the school does need to be revamped, but his solutions is to bring in the auxiliary people from jobs, he mentioned journalists, probably scientists, universities, to go to the schools. And this is just making it his network stronger, because the same people that are in those positions are the same one that's 98%. The 98%, they're rich and they're wealthy, but they don't critically think. They just go along with the system. So those same people will be going to the schools, and then those kids in the schools are going to want to emulate those people because they're successful. So this only makes the elites and plans better if you do that. And another one of his secrets revealed is, the body has a sewer system, and if this gets clogged up, you can get sick. It makes sense, right? So do a lot of cleaning your gut and eating the right foods and cleaning your systems and keeping them healthy, avoiding alcohol and cigarettes, which is the elites' two major control on people to make them ill, sick. We're almost done here, guys. And so now it was right when he said World War II was man-made. Yeah, man-made by the bankers. But he said the Depression was not. Depression was also man-made. They can control the stock market and crash at any time, just like they're doing now with the dollar. So this is why this book is written by them. He's making you think that he has no control, or the elites don't do this, but they do. This is all planned. And again, the big final thing was the ending, when he starts revealing all their... Because remember, guys, the history is written by the victors. Alright, this is why you hear about all the names that he mentioned are all part of their group. They're all the same 1% or 2%. They're all part of the Bilderberg They're all part of the agenda. But who? And they all stick with each other because they're all friends. But who is the one person that he left out? Tesla. Okay, Tesla was a critical thinker, and he was a doer. But he did not share the same ideas as they did, because they wanted to control the world and spread oil and make people pay for all the energy. But Tesla wanted to give it away for free, so they crushed him. All right, so this is how you know that the victors write history, because they omit certain people from history, and they elevate each other in their books and history and TV. The guys that you hear nothing negative about is part of their group, and the guys that you actually hear negative about is not part of their group. That's how it works. So I hope you don't have to believe everything I said, but what I see is if you see the big picture in the whole world, that is the conclusion I can come up with. It's just my views. And some people may see it, some people may not. But if you're part of the 2%, you can see it, and you can critically think and see this. And if you have and if you're not, it's okay, because you can use it as a self-help book, and you can use it to elevate your position in the world, and use this information. So, all right, guys, thanks. Bye.